the question has arisen, did I have any sensation to touch in my body below my injury? For instance, my legs, my hands, my feet, directly after my injury. So here is my memory of this. Of course, we're talking 17 years later. I had no sensation to being touched, to being poked with pins, or no awareness of hot and cold below the tops of my shoulders. And this sensation, kind of interesting to tell, because for the first 2 weeks they had me pretty much drugged up, and so you kind of get intermixed with the drug responses of the body. And the drugs were given to me mostly for pain, and as soon as I was aware that pain was not the issue for me, then I was removed from the drugs. And what I discovered is that, yes, for the first few weeks after injury, I had no sensation from the outside in. So somebody touching me, there was no awareness. What I did have, because of my prior practices of yoga, continuum, martial arts, just being an athlete, that I had a sense of sensation in the interior of my body. Now, we all have a different relationship to the idea of sensation. I know that I have worked with people who tell me that they don't feel things, but when we actually get down to being clear about what that means, they have been looking for a quote-unquote normal response. And what I have found is that I'm looking for any inkling of a sensation. So it doesn't have to look normal, feel normal, or have this idea of what I knew prior to being injured. And I caution people with spinal cord injuries to look beyond a rigid idea of what sensation is. I believe that because I held this, if you will, an open place for feeling, that it enabled me to draw out from my body the sensations that I was feeling. So I'm in the hospital. It's about 4 weeks out, and I'm starting to get movement in my tricep, bicep. Was starting to be able to move this limb. Now, there wasn't any handedness. There was just, that standard kind of quad hand that happens. And some of that was because I had been coached not to allow people to massage my hands. And along the way, it was real clear to me that this was incorrect information. So I encountered people and asked them to please, when you come visit me, touch my body. There is a tendency to back away from the person who's injured in handling them. But what happens when a baby isn't handled? They fail to thrive. And we may be large adults, but we still have that same harmonic vibrancy within our bodies. And that is amenable to being handled. If you're being handled there's a borrowing from the person who's totally able-bodied and is handling the body that's been injured. There's a borrowing of energy, and I think that this is a very important aspect that oftentimes is forgotten. It certainly doesn't seem to be encouraged. I know that some people who do have a spinal cord injury, it's far beyond. They have other injuries that were part of their process. For me, I had some other injuries, but my bones weren't shattered, they were just broken. The cord was impinged, it wasn't cut in half. There's a variety of, where all of us who have a spinal cord injury, it varies in how it shows up in our bodies. But this is sort of a long response to, did I have sensation? Yes, I did. And as I claimed that sensation, it began to grow. There you have that piece.